Hey y'all, Noni here. Welcome back to my channel. You can call me Noni. Today's video, again, I am going to try to get back to daily videos, but I am going through something that I'm about to talk to you about, and that is a common pitfall of chronic illness, or if you want to call it I don't know what else you could call it, just another shitty thing about having a chronic illness is what it is, frankly. There's a pain medication that I use. It's a pain patch. It's not fentanyl. It's nothing like that. It doesn't even come close. It's a patch called Belbuca. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not recommending that any of you, take this medication. I'm just telling you that for me, in combination with the other medications that I take, it's a cocktail of medications. They keep me from being able to deal with the pain and accepting that this is it. It's a part of my life, and trying to push through it as much as I can to where there is no pushing through it, period. And part of the problem is the withdrawal that I'm going through. So let me just tell you what happened. All of my other medications that needed to be refilled after my PA died were filled by the doctor at the same facility that supervised my clinician's work. Because she's a PA, you have to work under an actual doctor. So he, called me and was like, okay, so, let's make an appointment for the 20th because I've never seen you, and because the DEA requires that I be seen every 3 months because of the medications that I'm on. So I said, okay, no problem. And we had a nice chat. I have talked to him before. We've been going to that facility for years. He's never been my doctor because I don't like male doctors. Well, it's not that I don't like them. I just prefer female doctors based off of my experience from my past. Which, if you don't know, is dealing with continued sexual assault from the age of 4 onward. So anyway, but it's, for right now, I think it's the best move. Hello? No. Oh, he's not here? No, he left. Yeah, he's not here. That's why I had the door shut. Okay? Okay. Anyway. Where was I? Oh, man. See, this is what happens. Oh, yeah. But I thought it best for now to just stick with going to that facility, because the world's crazy right now. I don't know how much it's going to cost me to find a new doctor. You know, how they have they charge you more on your first visit and all of that. I still don't have a job, still don't have insurance, same for my husband. And what is happening in our government right now, I do believe is hindering jobs, because people don't know what the future holds. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like we're kind of at a standstill, just kind of trying to wait and see what's going to happen next. So I am trying to be as positive as I can about everything, but I saw, that I always keep tabs on my medication. And when I am about a week out of running out and I don't have a refill, meaning when you get medication, somewhere on the bottle it will say refill, and it will have either a 0 beside it, and that means you cannot refill it without doctor's permission, or it will say 1, 2, 3, like you can refill it that many times before you get your doctor's permission. And with Belbuca, I had zero refills, so I knew, I looked at how many I had left, and I knew, okay, I better get the ball rolling on this. But I use a different pharmacy for the Belbuca because it's $125, and they accept a health credit card called Care Credit. Now, this is not an HSA or FSA thing you would get through your work. It is an actual credit card, but only for medical things. I mean, you can get plastic surgery with it if you want. You can also use it with your animals, like for vet stuff. You can also use it. Sorry, this looks weird. It's buttoned, but unbuttoned, but that's because buttoning it and unbuttoning it is like a joke for my hands. So anyway, so I did what I always do, which is I called Walgreens and just said, please submit a request for a refill to the doctor's office. And I kept getting the text messages back that said, denied. Well, he had filled all of my other scripts, so it didn't make sense. And I've had problems with Walgreens before, so I thought, whatever. So I kept calling Walgreens, and finally it occurred to me that maybe because I have this one set of scripts coming from a grocery store in my area called Tom Thumb, and then another prescription request coming from Walgreens, that they might think I am trying to do something shady. Because as you know, when you have a chronic illness, quite often you are treated as a drug-seeking addict. When you try to find another doctor, they call it doctor shopping. And somehow it's wrong to doctor shop. I'm like, okay, first of all, if I don't like my doctor, why would I not shop for a new one? Like, do I not have the right to decide who I want to work with regarding my health? Like, you can see, they can see into, they all have this ability, provided that you sign the HIPAA form, which I signed all of the HIPAA forms, to give them access to everything, so they could see everything electronically that I get from these pharmacies, and they can see the doctors that prescribe them and so on. So I'm an open book. Okay, I've never tried to hide anything. I've been using Walgreens for years, and I just recently switched over to Tom Thumb because their medications are cheaper, and they were just able to get all of my medications but this one at a much lower price than Walgreens, and I have to pay cash. So, but Tom Thumb does not take Care Credit. So it occurred to me that maybe they were like, okay, what's going on here? Why is she using two different pharmacies? So I was like, okay, I get it. That makes sense. The DEA is coming down really hard on doctors. A lot of doctors are telling their patients they can no longer prescribe medications to them. And I'm not on like true opiates. Belbuca is like an opiate receptor kind of thing. And then like tramadol, which also is not a true opiate. It's not OxyContin, it's not Vicodin, it's not, like, I refuse that stuff if I go to the ER and they're like, okay, well, we're gonna get you whatever. It's a codeine product and it kills my stomach, so I refuse. The last time I was at the ER with the migraine, the doctor was like, okay, we're gonna get you some pain meds, and I refused them. And he was like, well, I mean, what do you take for it normally when you're at home? I was like, I take Advil. And he's like, Advil's bad for you. And I'm like, you know, you can't win. If you don't want to take the medication, they fuss at you. If you do want to take the medication, they fuss at you. You know what I mean? They think you're a drug-seeking addict. So anyway, I called the doctor's office, and I usually get a woman that answers named Gina. And she didn't answer. And then my PA's medical assistant, his name was Blake. And so, and he's usually the one that comes and gets me, weighs me, does all the vitals, takes me in a room. What are you here for? Blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, Cindy would come in. So I call up to the office and I'm like, hey, I was a patient of Cindy's. I have an appointment with Dr. Bestie on the 20th. Can you please, you know, I need to talk to you guys about a prescription called Belbuca that I've been trying to get approved, and I'm out now. And not only am I lacking part of my cocktail that, you know, for the most part really helps me, I'm now going through withdrawal, and that's adding to my agony, right? Because with withdrawal, you get muscle aches, muscle spasms, joint pain, the sweats, the chills, things happening downstairs that make you go a lot, if you know what I mean, okay? And normally that would be fine because I have the other issue, but that can be also excruciatingly painful. And when you're, and you have to get up and down, and I mean up and down and up and down and up and down. And when you are already in a huge amount of pain, it's just not fun. Not to mention, you know, the only other source I have to add to my cocktail is Advil now, and I try to avoid that like the plague because it is bad for me. It's bad for my stomach. I notice whenever I start taking it again that it kills my stomach, but it helps with inflammation. So anyway, I spoke to a lovely young lady, explained everything. She said, okay, hold a moment. So I held for a couple of minutes. The next thing I know, someone else comes on the phone that sounded almost like just like the other girl. And she was like, but she was snippy. She was like, can I help you? And I'm like, I'm not sure. I think someone was already helping me. What do you need? Well, I explained it to the other girl. She's checking someone in. So I was like, okay, well, basically, so I explained the whole story to her. And I was like, you know, it occurred to me that maybe one of the reasons it was being denied was because you guys were wondering, why is this coming from a different pharmacy? So I just wanted to explain to you why it's coming from a different pharmacy. And it's all, you know, legit reasons. They could easily look at my history with Walgreens. I've never tried to claim that I lost medication or anything of that nature. Like, I, or I've never had any history of anything shady going on. So anyway, she then proceeds to tell me that, well, looking at your chart, you're on a lot of medication already. And I'm like, and she had just keep in mind, before this, she told me she's the one that answers the phones. She answers the phones at a doctor's office. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. I'd like to have a job like that because I'd like to work with patients. But that does not make you a medical professional in any way. It doesn't make you a medical assistant, a PA, a doctor, a nurse, nothing. So I don't know why you're looking through my file, through my medication, and why you think it's okay for you to tell me I'm on a lot of medication. And by the way, miss, doctors list every single medication you've ever been on. At least mine did. And so the list of medications, is a mile long because I kept trying different things. I would try one thing for 3 to 6 months, depending on side effects and such. And then I would go off of them and try something different. So yeah, there's a lot of medications there. And I think right now I actively take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 8. So one of those pills is for nausea. One of those pills is for heartburn. One of those pills is for hormones, like female hormones. One of those is Lyrica. One of those is a muscle relaxer. One of those is a pain reliever. And one of those is Xanax. I have the Xanax for if I have a really extreme anxiety attack, or if I'm going to have to be driving in the car for a long period of time because I have hypersensitivity, and all the sensations that go with riding in a car, sights, sounds, the motion of the car, they all create a lot of anxiety. So I might, have Xanax for that purpose. Or if I have a really intense, costochondritis, which is where your rib cage, all the little muscles in between, will contract. And they'll either, hurt you here in your chest and you feel like you're having a heart attack, or where your ribs meet on the sides or on the back. It is excruciatingly painful. The muscle relaxers won't touch it. The only thing that touches that, or when my inner thigh is tightening up so badly and won't release that I'm screaming, that's when I bring the Xanax into play. And I don't take anything else. I just take the Xanax because it's the only thing that loosens it. And yes, I know it's not a muscle relaxer, but for whatever reason, it relaxes those muscles. Okay, so it works for that, which is why I have it. Otherwise, I'd be going to the freaking ER every other week, and I can't afford it, and it's not fucking necessary. And I can't take the medication they would give me anyway. I would be in even more pain. Like, the damage it would do, the pain it would cause in my stomach is unbearable. Like, the last time I went through that, I was screaming in agony like a fucking banshee. I didn't even scream when I was in labor with my kids. I just moaned through the whole thing. But that was the labor. That was not the birthing, because I had C-sections. So bravo to all of you women that had vaginal births, because I don't even know how you did it. But anyway, so she then, she tells me, well, you're on a lot of medication, and da 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 da. I'm like, okay, well, I'm thinking to myself, that's really not the point. I said, she goes, well, you have an appointment with them on the 20th. And I'm like, yes, I know that, but I cannot wait until the 20th to get this medication. I said, number one, this is a medication that you are not supposed to stop suddenly. Okay? You're not supposed to stop it. And yet pharmacists and doctors and nurses all make it virtually impossible for you to get your medication on time, no matter what you do. Because I start a week early on just about everything, and every time I do, I can tell, because I am highly empathic, that they are like, your refill is not actually due until such and such date. And I'm like, I understand that, but I'm starting things early so that if there's any hiccups, I'll be ahead of the game, so that I'm not going without my medication and suffering, okay? Because my whole goal here is to keep me from suffering, okay? And if you suffered, as I do, and as many, many millions of other people do, you would do the same. I was like, I'm not asking to pick it up today. I'm just asking that the process get started, and then I will pick it up on the day it's due for the refill. That's it. So by this time, it was already past due, and I was like, again, I can't wait till the 20th. And she was like, well, Dr. Bestie's not taking all of Cindy's patients anyway. And I was like, listen, he called me. He made the appointment. He said he wanted to see me, okay? If he's not going to be my doctor, I would appreciate a phone call, or I would appreciate that he communicate that to me directly, because I don't want to spend the money on the appointment if he's just going to tell me to fuck off. Now, I didn't say fuck off. I said screw off. But I said I need him to call me if he has no intention of being my doctor, and I will go find another one, because I need to know now, because my other medications are going to run out in a couple weeks. So I have to start now. Because sometimes it takes a couple weeks just to be seen. You got to go, you make a call, new patient, la-da-da. Okay, well, the doctor can't see you for 2 weeks. And if you haven't seen the doctor and you're a new patient, you're not getting your prescriptions refilled, period. So anyway, she said, well, I'll give this to Dr. Bestie and he'll do what he's going to do. And I was like, okay, well, I'd appreciate that if you would, please. Thank you. And it was just an absolutely... Oh, and I asked if Blake was still there, because he was Cindy's medical assistant. And she said, she was like, no. And so, of course, I was like, more devastation, because when you have a chronic illness, you get used to a certain group of people finding a clinician and a team, a care team that really treats you like a human and takes actual care of you, is like finding gold. You know what I mean? It's more precious than gold right now, to me. And I don't know if I'm going to find another doctor that cares for me the way Cindy did and Blake did. So now they're both gone. I didn't know that Blake was also going to be gone. So now he's gone too. So he doesn't know me either, you know. So basically, as far as Miss I Answer the Phones is, I'm a drug seeking addict, and I don't know anything about his MA, and I don't really know him. I do know when he thought I was COVID positive, he went into action very swiftly and ordered me a bunch of medications, of which I never ended up taking because I tested negative. But so I appreciated that because it was like 7 o'clock at night. And I told the woman that I was talking to on the phone, I said, listen, I know that you guys, that your office is really going through it right now because you lost Cindy, and that means all of her patients, and she had a ton of patients, are calling you. They're upset. They're wanting to get their refills. They're not, they're not knowing what to do. I would imagine that he's probably dumping all of her Medicare patients because a lot of doctors do that. Once you get on Medicare, they're like, fuck off, you're done. I mean, it's so sad. It's so sad and pathetic. I can't even tell you. And it's because the reimbursements to doctors are like nothing. They're so low. They're practically giving free care. And so I understand that, but again, what are the patients supposed to do? Like these are, and these are elderly, like elderly people. Often when I worked at my last job, I would have elderly people call who had an issue or whatever, and they couldn't get their doctor to call them back. They needed their path report. Nobody talked to them about the results of their path report. I mean, all kinds of it was just awful. And my goal, is always to help any patient as much as I can because I know what it's like to be in their shoes. So anyway, I found out through a text from Walgreens that the medication had been approved. But of course, there's not a lot of patients on Belbuca because it's just not a highly used form of pain relief, Cindy prescribed it because it's one of the few pain medications she can prescribe. I think Kelly's home. It's one of the few pain medications that she can subscribe. Hold on. Sorry. And so I guess not a lot of people are on it, and so they always have to order it for me. So I knew that was going to also be an issue, but the gentleman that I spoke to at Walgreens said it would only be a couple of weeks. Sorry, a couple days. And usually it is. And that was yesterday. And so I called today just at the sheer hope that they would have it because I am dying. And again, it's because of the withdrawal plus not having that medication as part of my medication cocktail. I don't know what else to call it. And so when I talked to them today, they said it wouldn't be here till the 15th. And that could be, their delivery may not come until the 12th. I mean, till 12, 10 in the morning, 12 in the afternoon, whatever. So I just had to have a crying fit because I don't know. So I guess the reason, I just wanted to share that with you guys because, one, please know that you're not alone. Two, it's okay for you to get your medications start on your medications in terms of getting them refilled early. You have a right to be treated, fairly, and ask questions and ask about medications and seek out new doctors or whatever. So, and basically I just wanted to share this experience because I am sure I'm not the only one that's been through it, and just to, I don't know how it might help any of you, but just to know maybe that someone else is going through it, or just to forewarn you to really keep track of your medication as well as you can, and order early. If anyone gives you shit about it, just tell them, I'm simply doing this because of, the process that it takes to get my medication, and I'll pick the actual script up on the date that it's due to refill. Don't let them treat you like you're a fucking addict, okay? It's ridiculous. And I'm sorry. I'm just super pissed. Anyway, my sweet husband went and got me some booze because I'm dying. I'm not going to, I never overdo it. I usually just have one glass. But it definitely helps to tamper. I know alcohol in itself is not good when you're a chronic pain patient, so try to stay away from it. But for right now, I'm giving in because I give up. I'm dying, And I just want a distraction, and I just want some relief, and I'm willing to get it any way I can find it at this point. And unfortunately, medical marijuana is not legal where I am. I wish it was. It is for patients that have epilepsy, and only a specific kind of epilepsy too, which is very sad. And I don't know why, but it's Texas. So anyway, but that's it for now, guys. I hope you don't find yourself in this situation. If you do and you want to vent or rant or whatever, please feel free to comment. If you want to comment privately, please feel free to email me at nonibanana2020@gmail.com, and I will reply to you there. I hope that it doesn't happen to you, because it's not right and it's not fair. And I'm glad that I got through this whole thing without shedding a tear, because I've been crying all day. So, and again, I'm so sorry about the glare, but I really like to be able to see. So anyway, that's it. I hope you guys have a beautiful evening, and I will try very hard to call you. Hi, I'm going to call you. Surprise. No, I am going to try hard to make a video tomorrow. But just be patient with me. This week is not going to be fun. It's going to get worse before it gets better. I know that much, because withdrawal can last up to a month. And so I know that the withdrawal is only going to get worse. So looking forward to that. No. I mean, I'm not at all. But anyway. You guys have a beautiful evening, and I will talk to you soon, okay? Mwah! Bye.